So Qualtrics itself is pretty user-friendly. While there are those links that have the FAQs and the videos that show you how to do this stuff, it's pretty straightforward. You just go to create project, blank survey, project, and then you're gonna title it, right? Let's say research methods course survey. Right? You can title it whatever is actually appropriate to your survey. And then when it comes to making the questions, you literally just type in here, something like, what is your age? And then you would give the rank of choices here. So let's say you have 3 choices, but 3 isn't enough. You can add them here or subtract them here. You can set it as automatic, like let's say you have a Likert scale where it's strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. Then you can set it automatically. You can do single answer, multiple answer. And then if you want to add a question, you can obviously create a new question, or you can just press a little plus there. And same thing, just literally click on this if you click on the choices themselves. And it's easy to kind of toggle in and out and change them. If you want to move the direction of these things, you can, move them up and down. You can change the name of the question by just clicking on that. So everything's pretty user-friendly when it comes to setting it up. It's just that when you're done with it, you're going to need to save it and lock it so that you're able to distribute it. Right? So once you type in all that stuff. So there's a lot of different question types here, though it does kind of make them automatically for you. So it really depends on the kind of questions you're asking. Like if it's like a yes or no, like let's say you have this and you want it to be 2, and you write yes, maybe, no, right? So a lot of times they have pre-generated ideas that'll kind of pop in for you. And if you want to take out maybe, you can, right? But otherwise, there are some automatic features like that. So again, you just kind of click into it, and you take just the questions you already had approved, that you already submitted for the question assignment, and you just type them in here. That's really how you make the survey. So that's why for some of you, when I suggested revisions to have specific answer choices, this is why, because you have to give those specific answer choices. And remember, when you're doing this, you just want to make sure that they're mutually exclusive answers. Okay, so when it comes to turning your survey into something that can then be exported, remember when you're in your survey, you need to make sure that you've locked your survey, right? To make sure that you can then distribute it to others, right? So once you have everything set up the way you want it, you have your, independent, dependent, you have your demographic variables, you want to lock your survey, right? And then you go to projects, click on this little ... here, go to distribute survey. Now, I've already done this before, so just ignore this part really quick. Go to distribute survey. It's going to give you an option. Click on web and then use anonymous link. The reason I want you to do this is because this way, like it says right here, you are unable to track identifying information of respondents, so you can not just ensure confidentiality, but also anonymity. So then, if someone clicks on that link, you're going to take this link and cut and paste it. So just copy it. So you're going to post this onto the discussion board forum on Titanium. You're going to take your link, and then you're going to go down here to the forum, the board for the survey assignment, and then you're just going to add a new discussion topic. And once you're in there, you're going to just paste your link into here. And if you have any specific qualifications, such as, if you have maybe a certain age, or maybe someone who has, experienced a certain thing, or maybe someone that, again, meets some sort of requirement of your survey, then you want to put specific qualifications there so that people know if they meet those qualifications before they take their survey. And really, that's all you're going to need to do at this point. Just mention any of that, and then otherwise you're good to go. You're just going to put your name in the subject, right? So I put Cretney Carly survey, right? And then basically, once you post it, then students will have the opportunity to take your survey, and then it's going to give you the responses are going to automatically generate when people take the survey. So again, then you can go back and create a crosstab based on the information that's already there. So this is how you basically take your questions from Qualtrics and put them up so that other students can take the survey. Okay, so going back to the overall assignment sheet, I just want to kind of reiterate a couple things. So you've created your survey, inputted your questions into Qualtrics. Again, you want to make sure that you look at it carefully before you distribute it. Then I want you to help other students. Once you've posted it to the discussion board for the survey assignment, I want you to take a minimum of 5 classmates' surveys. I'll give you points for doing so. And you're welcome to distribute it with other people if you feel that you want to. Otherwise, just as many results as you can get in a brief period of time, because I don't want this to be too cumbersome for you, right? And then you use Qualtrics to produce your survey data results. And you compose a document that includes, your crosstab table, and in a Word doc or PDF format, and your reflections on the questions that are down here. So this part you already did, the survey construction questions for the actual thing, and I graded those, the end. Okay, so down to here. This is the part you actually have to respond to. After you've distributed the survey, you've looked at the general variables and kind of played around in Qualtrics with the crosstabs, which again, in the announcement link I gave you the web pages specifically about how to make crosstabs and also how to export them so that you can attach it to the end of your paper, right? So you're going to answer these questions, and you can really answer them briefly, right? So how many respondents completed your survey? That could just be like 7, right? It doesn't have to be super complicated. Did you have any difficulty using Qualtrics, or did any classmates report not receiving access to your survey? Like, were there any issues? Yes, I had a hard time saving, or just no is fine, right? If that's what your experience was. When you're taking classmate surveys, did you have any difficulty answering their questions? When you looked at your results, did you notice any responses that didn't make sense in relationship to the question? Or did you receive any unanticipated results? How do you interpret your question summary table? After looking at your results, what can you say about your sample? And so remember, kind of going back to when we went over this chapter on surveys in your textbook, when you're looking at what your sample says, I mean, obviously you're going to look at those demographic characteristics, right? What do you know about your sample? What's the age of these people? What's the gender? What's the race, ethnicity, those kind of things. That way you can understand and interpret who it is that's taking this, which can help you figure out, what kind of theory you would attach to these things. So remember, you're not actually writing a theory paper on this or completing it as you would in like a hefty research paper where you'd have to do like a discussion, an analysis, data analysis section, and then a conclusion. So for this, you're just basically looking at your results, finding what you think is interesting, and then you're basically just going to answer these questions briefly. And then to the end of your paper, you just attach the questions that you used, which you can export from Qualtrics, or you could literally just cut and paste from the survey question document that you turn into me, as long as you didn't have to edit them. Or if you did edit them, again, just cut and paste the ones you edited at the end of these questions. And then your crosstab that you download, again, through the link that I put up on the announcement, you just attach that to the last page as well. So that's pretty much it for the paper. It's not that hefty an actual paper. It just sounds really complicated and kind of scary, right? Because it's like you have to make a survey to distribute it. You have to interpret it, But a lot of what that is just kind of going through the basic steps of it so that you get the idea of how these things work. But I'm not expecting it to be something that's going to take like a lot of time to do. It should actually be pretty quick to do. So again, like anything else, if you have any questions about this stuff, feel free to email me or come to Zoom office hours, right? 4 to 5 p.m. on Thursdays, so that I could talk to you face to face. You just click on the link in Titanium, and then we can kind of discuss these things in detail so that, again, you're not stressed out about this. Because the point of the assignment is to learn how this works, but it is not to stress you out, right? So going through the process itself is really all I'm looking for. So I'm not expecting you to now pull research to interpret it or slap this part onto the end of your proposal or any of that, right? Just answer these questions that are here, add the other stuff to it, and you're good to go. So like I said, if you have any questions, let me know.